Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to today evening's live stream where we are going to launch the next episode of the next new podcast show of Dr. Prasad Deshpande. So, Dr. Prasad is going to join us within a minute, and this is an amazing event. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, आप सभी का स्वागत है यहाँ पे. मैं डॉक्टर अमन कपूर आपका वेलकम करता हूँ, स्वागत करता हूँ. दिस इज डॉक्टर अमन कपूर हियर वेलकमिंग यू ऑल for today evening's launch event. I'm not sure आप लोग जहाँ जहाँ भी देख रहे हैं, you all may be seeing at a different regions, different locations, different platforms. Welcome to all of you, those who are here today evening. I would request all of you, those who have joined in, to quickly go in the chat box and type where have you joined in from and your names also. It'll be nice to know your names, who all have joined in. So, welcome to each one of you, my dear friends. बिकॉज आज का जो दिन है एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट दिन है जहाँ पे वी हैव लॉन्च वी आर गोइंग टू लॉन्च एन इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉडकास्ट शो. अब ये पॉडकास्ट शो क्या है, इसके बारे में हम चर्चा करेंगे थोड़ी देर के अंदर में, जिसके अंदर में बातचीत करने वाले ये पॉडकास्ट शो की खासियत क्या है, क्यों है, और इस पॉडकास्ट शो के जो जिन्होंने शुरू किया है डॉक्टर प्रसाद, उनसे भी हम मिलेंगे अगले थोड़े ही देर के अंदर में. सो फ्रेंड्स, आप जहां जहां से भी जुड़ चुके हैं लाइव, जल्दी से चैट में जाइए और मुझे बताइए आप कहां से जुड़ रहे हैं. So, my dear friends, we are having a short issues. We are just Dr. Prasad will be joining us within a minute. We are facing a small challenge with the internet of Dr. Prasad's. There is a problem that उनका यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का इशू हो गया. He'll be joining us within a minute. So stay connected with us. Dr. Prasad is just joining us within a minute. So in the meantime, it will be nice if I can know who all have joined in from where. So we are back online. Thank you very much for your patience, everyone. और आप सभी हमारे साथ में जुड़े रहे उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. डॉक्टर प्रसाद विल बी जॉइनिंग अस विद इन अ मिनट. बट आज का जो ये पॉडकास्ट है, एज यू कैन सी द पॉडकास्ट शोज नेम इज Holistic 360-degree Health Podcast. Now, what is this Holistic 360-degree Health Podcast and what is the whole concept about? Dr. Prasad will tell us in detail, but I will tell you in short. Now, when you look at the overall understanding of health, right? When you see health, when you try to understand health, according to you, what is health? What are the issues that you face with respect to health? So there are different things. किसी किसी को हेल्थ के बारे में फिजिकल हेल्थ, स्वस्थ रहना, स्वस्थ जीवन इज फिजिकल हेल्थ. Some people think physical, it is mental health. Then for some people, medicines ना लेना is again healthy होना, right? So हर एक का health, being healthy is very different for every person. But a holistic perspective of health is when you look at everything. That means mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all the well-being. When you look at everything together, that is when you get holistic health. So this podcast is going to look at health from all these perspectives, whether it is your spiritual well-being, whether it is your emotional well-being, physical well-being. If you are looking at any health condition, how can we look at health condition from all the aspects, complete 360-degree aspect? And to join us in inaugurating this episode in this podcast today is with me is an eminent engineer, a cyber security expert, and a great person, very jolly person. And it's great to have you with us, Mr. Raj. I welcome, my dear friends, let's welcome Mr. Raj Chate. Raj sir, welcome to this evening's launch. And we are really, grateful that you have graced us this evening and have joined us for the launch of this podcast. Now, before I hand over the mic across to you, the platform to you, Mr. Raj. Raj sir, I want to ask you one important thing. Why did you decide to join in for this live podcast? For this event, when Dr. Prasad, approached you, what are the first thought that went into your mind?
Good question. I'm a little bit of a private person. To be very frank with you, Dr. Aman, this is the first time I'm doing this. And the reason I thought I should do it is because um, I have actually undergone a transformation myself. Worked with Dr. Prasad, and the meeting was by chance, right? So it's not that I went to him; it's that I went to him by chance, and once I went there, and it's a very interesting anecdote. So I never thought I would do all that Dr. Prasad was suggesting for many of my friends. So I went with a friend just to accompany him, and it so happened that my friend got delayed, and I reached early, and then I started conversing with Dr. Prasad, and the small meeting which was happening just to wait for my friend went on for about 90 minutes, and then he captivated me by his with his knowledge, with his understanding, and a clarity between difference between treating the symptoms, which is more
Right.
prevalent, than treating the
Correct.
disease, as you mentioned, holistic, right?
True, true,
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
true.
Right. So that's where I said, okay, let me start this journey. I would when I say journey, I would rather say start the journey of solution. Right. It's not a treatment
Right, right.
here. Yeah.
So very well said. Raj sir, you are a techie person. You are a techno savvy. You are an
Right.
engineer. One question to you is, as an engineer, when you look at Dr. Prasad's treatment or Madhavag's treatment, which is having a blend of Ayurveda along with everything else. So, what made you get attracted towards it? Because the reason why I'm asking you is, Ayurveda is considered to be a very it's a 5,000-year-old
True.
science and not like modern medicine.
Right.
So what got you attracted to it?
Right. So to answer that in two parts, right? So one is my first question when I met Prasad is, what supplements are you going to give me? Because I'm scared. There's so many people in the market who talk about free solution. However, you need to take these many supplements. You know, cost and the I'm not so sold on the supplements. I feel all the nutrients should come from your food, right? So when I asked him that question, he said, "No, we're not giving you any supplements," and that's one part that I really liked. Right?
Awesome.
The other aspect, obviously, is being in the IT, in the software industry, you tend to fast forward, whether it is meetings, running around. So you tend to suddenly see that everything is moving at a faster pace. And then, so when I went and sat with Dr. Prasad, and then he checked my nadi, which is my pulse, and he's good at it. He actually kind of slowed me down, the way he was talking, the way he was asking questions, listening to me, which is so difficult with other doctors. Many of them don't even allow you to complete your sentence. So if I'm going there for a, for a common cold, and I say, I have okay, well, do you have also throat pain? And I'm saying I have sore. Okay, only sore throat, or dry and wet, so like that, right? So here was the person who was sitting, he actually slowed me down. He actually brought a slowness in me, and then we kind of started opening up. He was listening, and that is, these are the two things, Dr. Raman, where I felt, oh, this is a different way of treating, and that's what you call it as holistic, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you for elaborating
Pleasure.
so much in
Pleasure.
detail
Pleasure.
to us the whole
Yeah.
concept. So Raj sir, I one last question
Sure.
that I have for you is that when we looking at this
Mhm.
podcast, right? I'm sure being a tech savvy person, and a lot of people are nowadays listening to or seeing different video podcasts that are
Right.
happening, and what is your take, what is your expectation from this podcast, and what do you what should our viewers or listeners should expect from this podcast, and what is your complete overview on this?
Sure. Now, as many of the techies know, we have something called as Murphy's Law, right? So if you think something is going to go wrong, it will. So in such scenarios, we have prepared this for so long, prepared as in, the technicalities, and then, come at the time, and suddenly there is an issue with the mic and the internet. So we hope we'll get that clarified. So, and then get on with a fantastic podcast. See what happens. I guess what's good about the podcast, which I also listen, is it allows you to um, listen, gain knowledge on the go. Right? You don't have to be a part of of a workshop or a session. You can actually listen and gain knowledge, and then decide for yourself as you're probably traveling in a taxi, or you're there in an airport lounge, or so on, right? So that's the good part of the podcast that we have. And then obviously, it's very so, and people will agree with me once they go through this podcast, that the person who is knowledgeable is connecting with so many people online, and you are actually gaining knowledge without setting aside a time for yourself to just to go through this. It can be a part of your daily routine. You're not disrupting your daily routine. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So fantastic points of view, Mr. Raj, and we've got Dr. Prasad also joining in. I
Fantastic.
think we have finally we have been able to overcome Mr. Murphy, and
True.
to this evening, and great to have you here. Appreciate your patience. And Dr. Prasad, first of all, congratulations on this initiative. Thank you for taking this initiative, and we are happy to see you take that. Get into this mode of launching this podcast. Now, we have heard from Raj sir about his own perception why does he want to listen to this podcast? Now, before we formally launch this podcast, I would request you to tell us your motivation behind launching of this podcast or creating this podcast show.
First of all, good evening, and thank you very much for you both being on this occasion. And there are a lot of viewers on live who are going through this event. So thank you all viewers to joining for this event, and I welcome them. First of all, yes, Dr. Aman, I think. The motivation is last 18 years I am in this field and I'm treating people. And more importantly, whenever patient come to us, he is already diagnosed or he is suffering with some diseases, right? So for him we treat, and we try to reverse, and a lot of lifestyle changes we suggest, and they do it and they get very good results. So this is going on. But what I always feel is probably this generation or this era people are going through this, but the coming futuristic people or the young generation, if they prevent this disease, that is more important. See, curing is one part, treating is one part, but preventing is more important. See, अगर आपको डिसीज ही नहीं होगा, कोई रोग होगा ही नहीं, तो तकलीफें बहुत कम हो सकती है. एंड इन ऑल द एस्पेक्ट्स आई बिलीव इट, because first of all it's a suffering which you definitely reduce, and more importantly that phase itself is very difficult. It's for himself, that personally, for that patient, as well as for that whole family, and that gives a lot of stress in terms of financial, personal, physical, mental, socially, in all the aspects. That creates a problem. So I personally feel preventing the disease is more important. So considering this in mind, more important is to give the information about the disease. बहुत बार क्या होता है, डर से हम बहुत बार गलत डिसीजंस ले लेते हैं हड़बड़ाहट में, या बहुत बार क्या हो जाता है कि उस वक्त का एक मिनट का या एक घंटे का वो डर जो है, वो हमें बहुत गलत रास्तों के ऊपर लेके जाता है. So I never tell that ki which is the thing, right or wrong, but what I personally feel is ki understand whole thing what you are going through and then take the decision. So to get that information, from where should they get information? And I want that information should be very pure, and it should be very neutral. So that 360-degree approach should always be there, to understand the disease as well as its precautionary measures, preventive measures, and if they are suffering, then the treatment part. So all these things are very much important to understand. For that reason, probably I felt, I think more than 500 workshops we have conducted till date, and where we have addressed more than lakh patients one to one there. But it is, I think it is not enough, and we are in an era where technology helps us a lot. And thanks for you suggesting all this platform and all podcast related to all these things. So yes, we are on this, and we try to reach maximum people to help them to prevent their disease. And if they are suffering, definitely we are there to give our positive hand to get them out from the disease.
And at this point, I would request Raj sir to also add a few of his,
Yes.
perspectives. Uh,
So let's see, coming from a technology background, right? So for us, the buzzword is hybrid and custom. So matlab, hybrid cloud solutions as well as on-premise
In
and
mind, more
so
right.
so मैं जब what I found when I interact started interacting with Dr. Prasad was that he embodies the holistic 360 degree health. मतलब आप पूछेंगे कि कैसे, मतलब आप देखिए कि he comes from a accomplished lineage of Vaidyas. So medicine is in his genes. He formally studied Ayurveda, which focuses on natural approach to well-being and health, right? And then he has worked, with an accomplished, renowned cardiologist who is practicing allopathy medicine. And of course, he's also he performs meditation and sadhana to have a cleansing a soul, I would say, which is very very much required when you are actually suggesting a well-being approach to other person. So all of this, and then the empathy and compassion that he brings in, is very important. So it is not treating the disease; it is actually treating the underlying conditions to ensure that the disease doesn't even come. Eradicate the whole problem, right? That's what he was talking about. Is you don't start this journey once you have a disease. You can start this journey before, so that you will never have that disease. So
Perfectly said.
yeah,
Perfectly
yeah.
said, sir. I love that perspective of yours. Don't start the journey when you have the disease. Start it before you have the disease so that you don't have to face the disease at all. Really well said, sir. Really well said. I totally appreciate this point of yours. And, I love the way you have put it across to us. Now, let's formally, Raj sir, I would request you to formally go ahead and inaugurate this whole event.
Absolutely.
Inaugurate the post.
Absolutely. Like many of our viewers would have watched the serial called Amsterdam, where Dr. Max Goodwin says, instead of saying, "What's your problem? Where is the disease?" say, "How can I help you?" And then here we have Dr. Aman, who is providing the platform. He's a knowledgeable person himself. And then we have, of course, Dr. Prasad, who will take you through the holistic journey. And I'm so happy, and it's such an humbling introduction. And I'm so happy to propel this broadcast, and hope many, many, many people enjoy, gain knowledge, and decide to take this journey of well-being.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you,
Pleasure,
sir. So
pleasure.
with this, with the new permission of Raj sir, let's have the launch of this
Yay!
podcast. So, friends, this podcast is now available on multiple different platforms. It is there on YouTube. It is there on it's there on YouTube. It is there on Apple Podcasts. It's there on Spotify. It is there on every platform that you can think about. We will share the link of this podcast in the chat within the next few minutes. As soon as we end this whole session, you will be finding the complete launch, complete details of all the links of the podcast in your chat. In the meantime, let me show you the whole page of this podcast and the web page of the podcast. Let me show it to you. And in with this, we'll also show the different platforms in which this podcast is available. It is available on both audio and video format. If you want to see it as an audio format, if you want to see it just as an audio, hear it while driving, then it's available as an audio. And if you would like to see it as a video format, it is also available as a video for you. So there are multiple ways in which we have made this available to you. We have tried to ensure that you get to see this podcast, get the experience of this podcast in any platform anywhere in the world that you may be wanting to use. So here is it, the pod formally. So this is the formal launch of the podcast. I'm sharing the details below in the chat. And with this, we'll be talking a little bit more. But before we do that, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Raj sir for joining us in between his hectic schedule. In between two of his meetings, he's made time for us and ensured that he's joined us. Raj sir, a big thanks to you. And I really, we are grateful that you have joined in. You have shared your expertise with us. You shared your own knowledge. As you know, see, doctors talking about a medical podcast, they are always going to talk from the healthcare perspective. But an engineer and a non-medical person talking about it is going to give the perspective from a science perspective, and not medical but science perspective, and also as a perspective of a person who can, who everybody else can relate to. So thank you, Raj sir, for your time over
Like,
here, sir.
pleasure. It's humbling. Thank you so much, and all the best to the.
Thank you, Raj sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very
Thank
much.
you very much, Raj sir.
Thank you.
So, friends, let's all thank Raj sir for joining, and let me share with you the podcast page. As if you can see on your screen, I'm sure you can see on your screen. This is the podcast page that is there. In this podcast page, you can find out the whole podcast that is there. You can find it out on our page. The complete details, all the episodes, you can find out. The details will be there in your chat box in just a few minutes. Now, as you can see, you can hear this podcast episode. There are two episodes which are already live. One is an open discussion on the concept of holistic health 360 degrees. What is this holistic health 360-degree concept all about? So that is one thing that you can see over here. This is the first episode which is available, and in addition to this, you can click on listen on. You can listen over here also, as you can click play, and you can listen over here also, and you can click over here and you can listen on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, Pandora, Castbox, YouTube, Instagram. We'll try to make it available on Instagram, but only in, probably we cannot have the whole podcast episode. Maybe a few tidbits of the podcast episode we'll be having over there. So this is, my dear friend, on your all the different platforms that are available. We'll be sharing the link below for you to go ahead and have a look at this podcast. Go through it. There are two episodes. The second episode is in two parts. That is also live now. So we'll be discussing that more in details. Plus, what I would request all of you is, when you go through this episode, drop us your comments. Let us know what do you feel about it. What is your perspective? You have any questions, doubts, things that you want to do, things that you want to understand? Please share with us, because we would like to hear more from you. And with this, I come back to Prasad sir. So, Prasad sir, congratulations on the launch of your podcast, and thank you for taking me along as a partner in this whole mission. And with I mean, after having multiple podcasts and knowing you since so many years, I'm really happy to have been part of this whole mission of holistic health and a 360 health perspective from your end, Prasad sir. But before we log off, I would request you to share a few things that you would like to share with our audience, your passion about this podcast, why you started it, and if the people want to reach out to you to ask you the questions, how can they reach out to you? So over to you, Prasad sir.
Thank you very much, because it was like a dream. So since so many days, I was thinking how we can create this type of podcast, and lot of technicalities we were thinking. But after discussing with you, it this thing has made it really easy, and we immediately started it. So thank you very much for that thing. And now, if you come to the point, what exactly the holistic is? Yes, as I said, uh, our lifestyle is more important, where everything, if you want to be healthy, you have to concentrate on your lifestyle. If you are suffering from some disease, again, lifestyle is the main reason. So correcting that lifestyle, understanding where is the problem and correcting it, that is more important, and for that we need to tell few things. So from we wake up to until we go to bed, so the whole thing, even after if once we sleep, how the sleep should be. So there are a lot of things we are going to cover in day to day life, where people are committing some mistakes. They are doing some few things in probably in a wrong way, or they are doing it but they are not getting the results. We need to understand the reasons. So there are so many things we are going to cover. Then, as I always tell, so there are three major steps, where in 360-degree holistic we are covering is ahara, vihara, and vichara. And with that, again, now one more aspect we are adding is nidra, because there are a lot of research is going on, and on that basis we are going to discuss about how nidra is going to affect your physical and physiological conditions of your body. The all things we are going to discuss on these platforms, step by step, one by one. We are revealing the topics, and I literally request all the viewers, uh, uh, post your comments, ask your questions, and share this as much as possible, so that end of the day, see, it is our effort to make this society disease free. And we have started. I request all the people to join hands with us, and let's make this society disease free, healthy, and happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to hear from you and to be a part of this whole concept and the whole experience. My dear friends, the podcast is available on platforms as you can see over here. It is there on Amazon Music. You will also find it on Amazon Audible. This is there on Amazon Apple Podcast. Also, you will also find this on YouTube. Two channels of YouTube of Dr. Prasad. One is the Nimbane Doctor. That is one channel where you'll find it full concept and going live. So this is one area where you'll find it on Nimbane Doctor. Also, Dr. Prasad's podcast, and you will find this live on uh, in Spotify. You'll find video of this in a video format, and in Spotify you will also find this in video or audio, both formats. Like for example, if I click this episode over here, so over here if you click play, you will find that this plays in both video and audio format. So you can see the video going on the right side, on your audio over here. If you want to listen to it only in the audio format, that option is also available. So you will have this available on all the different platforms. We'll share the links below. But what you can do is one, interact with this podcast. Please interact, send us your comments, what you like about it, if you did not like, what you did not like, what more do you want about it, uh, what is it that you have applied out of this in your life? Please share with us. The second thing that you can do over here is, my dear friends, that you can go ahead and share it with people. So holistic health is something that we all need to share. We all need to become a part of. So share it with as many people as possible in as many platforms wherever you are. You're watching you on your WhatsApps, your Facebooks. Please share it so that more and more people can become a part of this whole holistic mission. And we would love to see you over here. Raghavendra sir, Dr. Raghavendra has joined us. Thank you, Dr. Raghavendra, for that lovely message. It is our pleasure to we appreciate the fact that you like to join us over here. And for everyone else, thank you very much. Prasad sir, thank you for taking this initiative. My dear friends, we appreciate your
Thank
initial patience of the technical delays that we had, and for you to stay over here. With this, we end today's whole session. But before we end it, once again, remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to comment, remember to follow. Let more and more people know about it, and let more and more people understand the whole concept of the holistic health. Because The more the people understand holistic health, the better they will be. And before we end, Prasad sir, once again, thank you very much, and great initiative. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So bye bye everyone. Thank you very much. The first episode and the second episodes are live. Over to you now to listen to this podcast, share it with everyone, and have a great time ahead. Stay healthy, stay fit and fine. And remember, we are available on all the major platforms across every possible channel that you think. And if you have a platform which the podcast is not available, let us know. We'll make it available on that also. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Aman Kapoor signing over and out. Thank you, Dr. Prasad. Congratulations. And thank you, Mr. Raj, sir, for joining us and for inaugurating this whole session. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
The first episode is live. This is the inauguration first episode details. The episode details will be shared in the chat box and the comment box within next few minutes. Please go ahead, watch it over there, and we'll see you with these comments, live chats, and bye bye everyone. This is Dr. Aman Kapoor signing over.